Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review, and in this indie comic review I'm covering Robotech Rick Hunter issue 4 and Something Epic issue 8, which begins a new arc for this particular run. I'll now get things prepared for the one that I'll be starting to review first. So starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? Sure enough it does, to which we get to see the character of Rick Hunter and also some of his teammates that he works with, to which I give the cover an 8 out of 10. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle and the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we end up meeting up with Rick Hunter in one of the Robotech factories, and also Robotech or Macross factories, and also what's happening on Macross Island with Rick Hunter. As we draw closer to the middle of the story, we get to see what the villains are doing as well as what the heroes are doing on their respective sides. And last but not least, towards the end of the story, to which we see Rick Hunter finish this particular mission that takes place within the story. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation of the area of the story. So first things first, do we get anything addressing time-wise as to when some of this takes place? No, we don't. Next is the area of the locations that we get to see in the story. First is Macross Island and also a space defense fortress. Number 1, the cast of characters consisting of course, Rick Hunter. We have the Zedro, the Robotech mercenaries. We have one of the captains. We've got Henry Glovell, Roy Fokker, Rick Hunter, of course, Lisa Hayes. We have many others. Lillian Minmia, Kyram, and Zeral, and of course, last but not least, a character by the name of Jean. The overall story rating in this, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Something Epic issue 8. So as we start to move into Something Epic issue 8, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, because we, get to meet both of these characters. So we have a new character introduced in this, and I'll bring it up to you as we have a look at the internal art. But for the cover art, I give a 7.5 out of 10, so it's quite high. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's taking place story-wise. So as we have a look around the beginning, we end up meeting our new protag that is actually in this run, and her name is called Noah, and that's without a H. And we learn that this character has a connection with the Epic within the power in the power of this universe, to which they too are able to see these cartoon comic-like characters. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we meet up with a character by the name of Deductive, which is a real good play on words within the story. And we get to see their interaction between the two and some of their conversations as they start to move on their first case together. And just a bit towards the end, as we meet the character known as Moriarty. So this is actually going to be interesting as to how this story is going to take place. If it's going to take some notes from, say, Sherlock Holmes, like Arthur Conan Doyle. So it's going to be really interesting as to how this story will work out. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10, as they do seem to keep it consistent with how they use the story with the characters. Next is the area of the story itself, to which we, surprisingly, we do actually get a reference to Something Epic Volume 1, also, in other words, the first arc. Next is the area of time, to which we get no indication of time. Location, no indication of location. But the cast of characters that we do meet in this story are Noah Carpets, the deductive, and last but not least, the character known as Moriarty. For the overall story rating in this, I give it a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.